talking about electric cars for a few minutes
Yeah,
here.
we got sidetracked on electric
Yeah, I
cars.
mean, so the news is the Porsche Taycon's outselling the 911 and the Tesla Model S, which isn't.
Which I don't believe.
Yeah, I mean, I think those numbers are kind of stretched. It's probably like for a quarter, and I believe they don't. They're not going to sell so many pure two-seat sports cars with two little
I mean,
seats in the back.
just look at the price difference there.
Mm-hmm.
That's a huge price difference. Um,
Yeah. Tycon fits more people. It's more of an all around family car that more
it's like
people can
the
use.
BMW 7 Series.
Yeah, right.
Like that's not going to outsell like a Volkswagen Jetta
No.
or like an Audi.
Well, they're not talking. They were talking about high end. 911s are expensive too, right? So and you
Yeah,
can't
so
put your whole family in them.
that makes more sense to me.
Yeah,
Because the 911s have started at like 120,000, 130,000, and that's where the Tycon starts out.
Yeah.
Like right there.
something like that.
So that makes sense, but more than the Model 3
Model S,
or the Model S.
So that makes sense. The Model S has been around a while, so they're selling tons of Model 3s and Ys, but not so many S's. All right, enough cars for now. Let's talk about Wi-Fi and switch. I want to hit on switching first. So switch. We still have switch availability. I sent an email blast out this week that we have plenty of 24 port PoE switches and a few 48 ports available.
Yeah.
So if anyone is waiting on a project, give me a call. We've got it. I know 48 ports are kind of hard to find from all manufacturers right now.
Yeah, 48 ports are definitely harder to get right now. 24 are becoming more of a problem.
Yeah.
As well, so yeah, you definitely want to be aware of that.
I'm stocking up, so if anyone needs them.
Yeah. 24 and the full power, right?
Full power, yeah. I mean, you got to, at this point, if you have a project, you really have to take what's available. If you want to go forward with it right now, because we don't know what's coming when, we just know what we have.
Yeah, don't you have a lot of customers that are like, they're in positions where they're buying whatever's available right now?
Oh yeah, I'm seeing that like a lot from the Ruckus side too, like that they wanted X but they'll take Y because they just want to go ahead with this project, and
well, Y is the better option.
Yeah, it's the most expensive option, of course, right? Like, but I mean, it's like no one's willing to wait around to get like an access point that's like less expensive because they need the Wi-Fi now. They need they have this requirement now. They can't wait around to save a few dollars.
Yeah, it's sold it's sold basically.
Yeah.
So why would you wait to collect your money?
Well, I mean, you have to re-quote it a lot of times, because if what's available is
well, yeah, you're not gonna sit there and wait for like a vendor to come out with like product, right?
Right. If you have the requirement now, basically, get a quote with whatever products available, and go forward with that. That's we're seeing lots of people do that. So
yeah.
if you have the need, there's equipment out there. Just may have to be a little flexible.
Yeah. Yeah, our switch sales have definitely climbed on 24 and 48 port.
Yeah, for sure. People, we're getting people just like looking for switches on the internet, and and we have Wi-Fi 6 access points too available, which a lot of people don't. So
yeah.
So yeah, let us know if you needed that stuff. So I had another question this week about the Ingenious Cloud about how to set up email alerts. So it's pretty simple, right? Like now, if you add a new user to the cloud, then they have to log in and set their alerts themselves, right?
That's right. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. So every because it's dependent on the person that is looking at their dashboard.
Yeah.
They want you want to give them the ability to receive emails or not receive emails to that particular dashboard.
Yep.
Or to like an account. So yeah, you would do that within your cloud account. So when you log in, there's a little bell in the upper right. I'm looking at it right now.
Yeah, I am too.
Upper right hand corner.
Mm-hmm.
You tap on that bell, and right at the top you'll see a gear. You can click on the gear, and then you can turn on email notifications. You can turn on mobile app notifications and email notifications there, and it will send it to the email that you created the account with. And you can send email notifications every so often, like every hour, every day, every week. You want to be careful with the alerts though.
Yeah.
Because port status changing, that happens a lot. So you will get alerts on those every time a link is showing on or up or down. So you just got to be careful with that with what you choose.
Yep.
But yeah, I mean, it's really easy. You just go to that bell, you just click on the gear, and then you can enable email, and then just turn it on for an hour, day, or week, whatever you want to do.
Oh, yeah. Send it every hour. Gotcha. And then you can uncheck from, if you have multiple orgs, you can just check the networks that you want to get the notifications from.
Yep.
There's a little checkbox there. Okay. Yeah. All right. So, what you want to talk about some new features that are coming to Ingenious Cloud?
Yeah. So there's so you can have 8 SSIDs with Ingenious access points, and all those SSIDs can be configured in different ways.
Yeah.
And one of those ways you can choose different like authentication types. And so if you go in there right now, you'll notice that we have Google LDAP, we have LDAP server, we call it my LDAP. So you can authenticate against like a Google LDAP or just LDAP or even Active Directory. We will be adding in like a VPN client, so you'll be able to have that ability. And then we're also testing GRE, which is another method. So there's a lot of different authentication type methods within the cloud that you can set up for individual SSIDs. Like the current case we're working on right now is an ISP that uses GRE for their customers. So they want to offload their cellular onto Wi-Fi, like a public Wi-Fi system.
Yep.
And so this is one method of doing that to make sure that that they're secure.
They making sure all the traffic goes over like an encrypted channel.
Exactly.
Yeah. All right, that's cool.
So there's several. There's several authentication types that you can use within the Google within the cloud. Sorry.
And are those live right now?
We added that recently into that's under beta right now. It's testing under the phone app.
Oh, okay, gotcha.
So if you update that the test flight, you'll start to see that within the with the app. So that will be coming shortly. But right now you can go into the cloud interface and you can enable any of those features, except for VPN client and GRE. That's not in there yet, but it will be built in there soon.
Okay. And then you wanted to talk about the Pro licenses coming for the Ingenious Cloud also, which want to stress that this is not something you need to buy. It's just like it's for extra features, optional features that maybe really large networks will need.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. So we will have a Pro license launch here, I think in December timeframe. And it's like Jeff was saying, it's optional. So Pro is basically an extension of what you're already getting, but within Pro you have advanced features, and these advanced features could be like My PSK or what's another? Oh, VLAN pooling. There's a number of different things that client timeline, contact tracing. These are all quote unquote like Pro. So for access points, it'd be $50 MSRP per year. And there will be a 3-year license, which will be $120. So you save a little bit on the 3-year.
Yep.
And you could probably easily use the 3-year because, technology changes are around 3-year time frame. So that's probably not a bad choice to have. But yeah, $50 MSRP for an AP per year. And if you want to do 3 years, it's $120. That's not live yet. That's not active yet. Like I said, it'll launch around the beginning of December timeframe.
Okay, nice. All right, so we know about that. And yeah, a lot of those features are either like large network or things that are nice to have, like you said, like client timeline or the topology view where you can see like a non-Ingenious equipment in there.
Or floor plan
view, things like that. And I do recommend, like, if anyone's going to do it, that use the 3-year because, I see that with, like, the Ruckus Cloud. It's a lot easier because after a year, you don't want to have to go through the effort, renewing those things again, right? After 3 years, like you said, you're probably going to look at your network and be like, oh, I may want to replace these APs anyway and, go with something newer.
Yeah. And like I said, well, here's the other thing I should mention, too, is, so it'll launch December timeframe beginning, but we will give 1 year free to all the customers. So
nice.
if you do want to test out those advanced features to see, okay, I would need this for this particular case, then you have plenty of time to test it.
Yeah.
The one thing I do want to mention is that, like, in my dashboard, I have probably 20 organizations, and each of them are basically customers, right?
Yeah.
So some of this a majority of those customers can use basic, what we're calling basic. That's the free license.
Yeah.
A majority of them are using basic. They don't even need advanced. And it's really only for, like, if you're MSP or a system integrator or custom installer, and say you're doing dental offices and that's all you're doing, and then you run into an opportunity that is a large school, for example, or enterprise, and you do need more advanced, you can put that one organization on Pro and all the other ones are on Basic.
Yeah.
Because you might need, like, VLAN pulling or BCMC suppression or something like that. So, you can pick and choose which organizations are Pro and Basic, or free and paid.
Yeah.
Yep. And then there will be a license for switches, but that has not been determined yet. So that will launch that should launch around the December time frame as well.
Yeah, because I mean, you continue to add features to the cloud, and some of those, a lot of those only, like, the bigger companies will need, be willing to pay for that. But as the cloud devices are free to use, forever as always. These are just, like, optional features you could get.
Exactly. Yep.
Okay. What else do we want to talk about here?
You came across a couple questions.
Yeah, I came across a couple questions. So I had one guy asking a question. Is it worth getting Gigabit Ethernet if he's only using Wi-Fi devices? So this person was asking, they have a cable modem. They can either pay, like, $100 for Gigabit or maybe $50 for 400 meg, something like that, right? But they'll be using all wireless devices. And what do you think? Is it worth it to go with Gigabit?
You can get away with just the 400, I think.
You could, but
I think I would, if it's within your monthly budget, right?
Yeah.
Then I would go for a gig.
Yeah. Of course.
I'll give you my personal experience.
Yeah.
So I have the choice of a gig, but I chose 500.
Yep.
Because I was like, it's cheaper. Like, 500 is plenty. I can do anything I want on 500. It's not a big deal. I have, and on Wi-Fi now, on the wired side, if my devices, if I had a lot of devices that are wired, I'd probably move towards the gig.
Yeah. Like I do. This station.
My devices are all wireless. Like my phone, my laptop that I'm working on right now is all Wi-Fi. I can actually, because I have a Wi-Fi 6 access point and I have a Wi-Fi 6 enabled laptop, and my phone is Wi-Fi 6. I can really take advantage of the speed, so I can get close to 500 by 500 on my phone and my laptop.
Yeah.
So I can get pretty close to the speed. But I have considered a gig, because I could probably get a little bit faster speed.
Yeah, I know you want it.
600, somewhere around there.
Yes, yeah, you could, but would you notice it? Not really, but over Wi-Fi. But yeah, so you would get, like, over 600 meg on if you're using a Wi-Fi 6 access point and device, like, iPhone 11 or 12, right?
Yeah. So
you would get over 600 meg consistently if you had Wi-Fi 6 and Wi-Fi 6. So I guess you have to ask yourself if it's worth it. Like in your case, I think you got the perfect speed. If you're all wireless, 500 meg is really almost as much as you're going to get, on a wireless device. Maybe you get maybe 150 more maybe with possible.
Yeah, and you have to consider like how close are you going to be to that device?
Right. Right.
Like, is the modem in a separate room? Are you multiple rooms away, or are you within 50 feet of that modem?
Yeah.
If you're within 50 feet of that modem, you're gonna see like really, really great speeds. But
Yeah.
as you get further away, the speeds will slow down. So you have to really think about where that device is going to sit within your house. Um, you know, if you're talking like, am I going to get 400 versus 600? And if you're at like 150 feet away from the modem,
Yeah.
you're not going to get either one. You're going to
Right.
get a slower speed.
Right.
You're going to probably see like, what, 150 to 300 maybe or something like that, or
Yeah,
even
yeah.
less.
I mean, as you get further away, obviously you see slower speeds. So I mean, it's a multi. There's a lot of variables there, but like in your case, I would say no. It's probably not worth it unless you're going to be wired in or be like right near the access point.
Yeah.
It's probably not worth. In my case, it is because I have my workstation like wired in, to multi gigabit Ethernet. So I'm getting, on this workstation we're streaming from, I'm getting, full, 940 meg. And then on my laptop and my phone, I'm seeing like 650.
Yeah.
So I think it's worth it. I mean, then you look at the price difference. I mean, yeah, it's probably like $40 more. So
I have considered moving to a gigabit. I mean, but what is it really going to give me at the end of the day? I'm running 500 by 500, and
yeah, that's fine to get your work done for sure and stream whatever you need to.
yeah, it works great.
So yeah, that's the answer to that question. But if you do spend the money on the gigabit connection, definitely upgrade to all Wi-Fi 6. I mean, because you're not gonna see any of that speed if you're just 11 AC. You're gonna see maybe 400 meg maximum, less probably.
Yeah, definitely Wi-Fi 6. I mean, it's hard to get 11 AC right now anyway,
Yeah,
and that's another reason to go to Wi-Fi 6.
yeah. So
Like the
so
availability and then the technology, and then in regards to this person, yeah,
yeah.
you're gonna maximize on Wi-Fi 6.
And multiple APs, like you said, because you want to be close to it. If you're paying that money, you want to see the fastest speeds. Put enough access points so you're getting full speed wherever you're going to be working or using it.
Yeah, exactly. Yep, that's a good point.
All right, then
Yeah.
I saw another question about what about getting Wi-Fi inside a metal building? So I hear this one a lot too, and the answer is and they're talking about Wi-Fi from outside in. Like you have maybe you have like, let's say you have a house, and you want to put an access point in the outside of the house, and then you have like a shed, like that's a certain distance away from the house. It's made out of metal, or and you want to get Wi-Fi access inside. You have devices in there.
Yeah.
You're working in there, whatever.
Yeah, we run into that a lot.
Yeah, and I would say no. You shouldn't do that because you're gonna have problems. Like it's not. You can't say it's gonna work consistently.
Yeah. Yeah, no, the best method is, will it work within the metal house? Yes, it will.
Yeah.
Or metal building? Yeah, it will.
Inside of it. Yeah.
Inside, yeah, inside. But like if you're transitioning from like outside into like a metal building, you're gonna see maybe a drop off or something like that, unless there's a door or something like that. In the case I'm thinking of, we actually had a very large warehouse, and it had a very large freezer inside.
Oh
Were you
yeah.
a part of that?
Yeah.
And you actually run cable into the refrigerator.
Antenna
In this
cables.
case, we ran cable in there and dropped an AP in there, and so you can do that, or you can have the AP on the outside, depending on like what it is, and you can run antenna cable into the location and have the antenna in there.
Yeah. So that's one way of doing it. We've seen people do that, and that's a lot harder to do. You need to get like the right adapters and antennas and everything.
Yeah.
And mounting hardware. In most cases, what you're going to want to do is use a point-to-point bridge between the building that has the internet and the metal building, and then inside the metal building, put an access point or multiple access points to distribute the Wi-Fi inside the metal
100%.
building.
Yeah, that's another way.
So that's what we tell people. We hear this all the time, and that's what I tell them to do.
You could easily use meshing.
Yeah, no. Don't. Yeah, they asked that too. They say, well, what if I put one on the outside of the main building and the metal building? And I'm like, well, yeah, it'll be there, but you're not gonna get like consistent, throughput inside the metal building.
It will degrade so much
Mm-hmm.
internally. It won't be worth. You might as well not have anything in there.
Yeah, right. You might as well do it right. Use a point-to-point bridge, which isn't that expensive, and then access point inside the metal building.
Yeah, that's the best. Yeah, that's probably the best way to do it.
All right. Anything else you want to talk about this week, Bryan?
No, I think that was it.
All right. So go out and buy yourself one of those Tycons. Trade in that e-golf.
Or let me make it easier. Go out and buy some 48 port switches or 24 port switches.
40, yeah, go out and buy some switches. We have them in stock. Let me know. And remember to like and subscribe for more help with